They're listening.
No?
Yes.
Walked out of my room.
You're such a liar.
I walked out of my
You're
room.
making me embarrassed. Could you go downstairs? I've gone red. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming a video on these $1 brushes that I purchased from SHOPMISSA. It is USA based, so the price is US dollars, but in Australia it's like $1.30, which is still quite like extremely affordable. So I wanted to review them and test them out. I haven't used them yet. I have used one brush, which is this one, which is like the powder brush. It is quite soft. It feels like a high quality brush. I mean, there's nothing scratchy about it, which usually with cheaper brand brushes they are quite scratchy, but this feels quite fluffy and soft. So yeah, if you want to see how these brushes work, then please keep on watching. I am going to do my makeup routine as usual. I'm not going to do like a revolutionary eye look or anything like that. I don't think so anyway. I'm just going to pretty much test out the brushes, see how they go. So I'm going to start out with my eyes first. And I'm going to put some tape down because that's what I always do. Well, not always, but most of the time. And also, I might not get a chance to use every single brush, because who uses every single brush in a set all at once? Like, I'll use the brushes that are necessary, and I might go through like each brush with you guys and just explain what you could use it for, or you know, just name what the brush is. So I'm taking my MAC paint pot in the colour Painterly with the brush E113, and it looks like that, if it will focus. And I'm just going to start applying my eye base. So far so good. That applied that nice and evenly. Now I'm just going to set that eye base in place with my MAC Studio Fix powder in NC25, and I'm going to be taking the F19 SHOPMISSA brush, and it's just really fluffy and it looks like it'll cover a large area of my eyes. So I'm just going to dip that in the product and tap that on. Very soft, not scratchy at all. Okay, so I've just realised they don't really have many fluffy brushes in this set. This is pretty much the only fluffy brush, and the rest are like flat brushes like that. See how they're thin and not really fluffy, and that's not really helpful with the crease area. It's more helpful with the lid area. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this big fluffy brush. So I'm going to go in with a transition shade. I'm just going to use my Master palette by Mario, which was a collab with Anastasia Beverly Hills. And I'm just going to take the shade Isabel from that palette and take it through my transition area and hope for the best. Because it is so fluffy, it does blend it out quite quickly, and once again it's very soft. I like the transition area to be quite dramatic and warm, so that's why I like to go over and over quite a few times. And this is why I take 10 years to do my makeup. Okay, I'm going to try go in with the E112, which looks like kind of like a pencil, but like really thick. Like a thick pencil brush. Once again, feels quite soft, but it's quite dense as well. And I want to go right into the crease with this just to deepen it up. so hopefully it blends out okay. But what I might do is use this to place the product in the crease and then use the big fluffy brush to blend it all together. So here we go. Wow, that really packs the colour on really dark, so be super careful with this brush. So I'm just going to pack it on in the outer V. Okay, now I'm just going to take the fluffy brush and try to blend that. This is what we have to do when we're on a budget, ladies. We have to compromise and work with what we've got. Now I'm taking this flat dense brush. So, oh, it's not that dense, but it's dense enough to use on the eyelid. And this is the E121 brush. And I'm just going to take a shimmery shade. I'll take the shade Kim and just tap that on. That works really well. I don't know if you can see because of how bright it is in here, but it's picking up the product quite well. Then I'm going to take a smaller flat brush, same density, just looks like that, it's just smaller. And this one is the E122 brush, and I'm going to take a lighter gold shade. I'll take Fifth Avenue and apply this to the inner parts of the eye. Now for eyeliner, they have this E17 brush, but it doesn't look like the type of brush that I would personally use. I like to use those angled brushes, but really thin. They do have an angled brush, but it's not as thin as I would like it to be. So I probably won't use this one. As you can see, it's quite thick and not thin enough to do the really sharp pointed wing. So I might skip out on using that one. It's all personal preference really, but for me I probably won't use those two brushes. It probably could work for the brows, but then again I like to use quite thin angled brushes for that as well. Okay, so I went ahead and did my eyeliner off camera, and also I applied eyelashes, but I was having a little bit of trouble with these lashes. They are the Socialeyes seductress lashes. They're quite dramatic and thick, and I always have trouble on one eye. It like lifts in the corner and it doesn't sit properly, and it's quite annoying. I mean, this eye looks okay, but this eye in the corner kind of lifts. Not sure why, but I think they just need to be bent a little bit more to the shape of my own eyes. So just ignore that if that happens to pop up or look weird in some way. I mean, through my viewfinder it looks okay as I'm looking at it now, but in the mirror it was like really annoying me. It took me like half an hour maybe. Okay, so now I'm just going to move on to the face, and I'm going to start out by priming. I don't even know what foundation I'm going to use, so I might use my Nars Sheer Glow. So to start out with, I'm going to use my L'Oreal Lumi Magique primer. Just going to squirt that on the back of my hand. And I'm going to take the F15 brush, which is just one of those foundation brushes. I don't normally use these, so I'm just only using it for the purpose of the video. It feels quite soft on the face. It's not scratchy at all, which is good. And you know what? I don't even think I need to use my beauty blender to blend that in anymore. I think it's quite blended in already. But for the foundation, that might be a different story. Okay, so now I'm just taking my Nars Sheer Glow foundation. Now I'm going to take my Born This Way concealer, and for this I don't think I'll use a brush because I kind of just use the brush wand that it comes with, and then I blend it out with my beauty blender. Now I'm just going to set that concealer with my Mercier setting powder. Now I'm going to be taking this big fluffy brush and taking my Australis Fresh and Flawless powder and setting the face. Okay, now quickly going back to the eyes, I'm just going to do the underneath of my eyes, going back in with the same big brush that we used in the transition area, and taking the first shade we used, which was Isabel from the Anastasia / Mario Makeup Master Palette by Mario. Now I like my bottom lash line to go quite smoky and low, so if you don't like this, then this probably isn't a good brush for you to use because it is quite large. Now I'm going to go in with a smaller brush just to define the lower lash line with Violetta. Going in with an even smaller brush and taking a black shade and just keeping that on the outer third of the eye. I'm also going to take some black eyeliner and go in my waterline. I haven't done this in a while, but I feel like being dramatic today. Okay, I went ahead and did my brows off camera. Now my face is looking extremely flat, so I'm going to go ahead and bronze, and for that I'm using my Benefit Hoola bronzer, and I'm going to take this big fluffy brush in with the number F20 on it. So as you can see, this was the big powder brush that I used, and then this is the one that I'm going to use for bronzer. It's just slightly smaller, not much smaller, but slightly. I want a big fluffy one just so that it distributes the bronzer evenly all over my face. Once again, extremely soft. Now I might take a smaller brush. This is the F13. Still, oh actually, no, I'll take the F14 because it's like angled. and easier to get into that area. Okay, now I'll go back to the F13 brush and apply some blush with that. And I'm just going to take my MAC Melba blush. And now for highlight. I think I'm going to use the same brush that I used for blush. And I'm going to go into my Anastasia Beverly Hills That Glow Kit. And I'm going to take the shade Dripping in Gold and just apply a whole heap of that onto my face. For lips, I'm just going to use the Kylie lip gloss in So Cute. Okay guys, so overall I think they are really great brushes for their price. They are extremely affordable, and for those of you that are on a budget and can't really splurge on like Zoeva or Sigma brushes, don't stress because these brushes work just as well. I mean, obviously they're not up to the standard of Zoeva or Sigma, but you know, they work, and if you know how to use them, then they work. So I'll just quickly go through the brushes that the set comes in. Of course, I think you can purchase them individually. Okay, so the first eye brush is the E114, and this is a angled brush, and you can use this as a eyebrow brush or an eyeliner brush. If it will focus. No, it won't focus. The bristles are quite soft. This is a thicker angled brush, I would say, so if you're into the thick wings or eyebrows, then that's great. That'll work great for you. This next one I have here is an E111, and this is like a angled flat brush. So this one, I mean, you can pretty much use it for whatever you want, but you could use it for concealer, packing on eyeshadows, etc. The possibilities are endless. Really, you can use brushes for whatever you want to use them for. It doesn't have to be what it says it's for, but these don't say what they're for. They're just, I mean, it's straightforward, you know. Okay, so this one I have here is the E117, and it is quite small. I'm pretty sure it's meant to be like a detail brush or an eyeliner brush, but it's not quite pointed enough for my preference to be used as eyeliner. It's quite like fluffy on the tip. If it was more pointed and like structured, not as fluffy, then yeah, I'd probably use it for eyeliner. The next brush I have here is the E124, and this is like a pencil brush. You can use that underneath the lash line to smoke out eyeshadows. The next brush I have here is the F16, and it's just a small, narrow flat brush, so you could use this for the inner corner or like the brow bone highlight. The next brush I have is the E113, and this is the one that I used for the eye base. So, but really you could use it for anything, even concealer if you wanted to, or like cleaning up the brow edges. The next one I have is the E115. This one is like a square flat brush. You could also use this for the eyebrows, like cleaning up the edges. That would be perfect because the edge is so straight. It's a little bit more dense. Yeah, or you could use it for eyeliner, but it's not, I don't think it's thin enough to use this for eyeliner, but either way. The next one I have is the E122. This is also a flat brush. They do have a lot of flat brushes, I feel, and not enough fluffy brushes. So this is another flat brush. You could use it for the lid, the inner corner, yada yada yada. Another flat brush, but with a oval edge this time and much shorter. This is the E123. The next brush I have is the E112, and this one is another pencil brush but much thicker than the last one that I showed you, but still quite good for going underneath the eyelash line to smoke out the eyeshadows. Alright, the next one I have here is the E121. Another flat brush, but much larger than the others. I used this one to pack on some of the shimmer shades on my eyelid. Then we have this brush, which is the E116, and this is another angled brush, but slightly longer and like smaller than the other one that I showed you. This one I used for like the black eyeshadow underneath the lash line, like close to the lashes. The next one I have is the E118, and this actually isn't a brush, it's like a sponge type brush. Sorry if you can hear my partner singing. I can hear him, so maybe you guys can through the camera, but anyways. This brush, which is a like sponge type tip, is good for like smudging out eyeliners and eyeshadows and yeah, all that good stuff. Then I've got this brush which is the E120, and this is for combing out lashes and eyebrows. Then I have this little brush which is more of a travel sort of brush, I'm guessing. This is the F18, and all you do is you pull that little lid off and then this little brush is revealed. This can be used for, definitely used for the inner corner or like small detailing areas, places that bigger brushes can't go. Then lastly, for the eye brushes, I mean, this could pretty much be a face brush or an eye brush. It'll work either way, and it's probably my favorite brush out of the whole set. So this is the F19, and it is a big, huge, fluffy brush. And I actually used this in my transition area and on my lower lash line. But for me it worked because I have quite large eyelid space. If you have smaller eyelid space, then this would probably be way too big for your eyes. You could also use it for contour on the cheekbones, the sides of the nose, highlight even, like for a more concentrated highlight. That would be good for that. And yeah, it's quite soft. I really enjoy this brush. I want to purchase more of them. Alright, anyways, quickly moving on to the face brushes. This is the F11. I get it now. Okay, so the ones that are for the eyes say E and then they've got a number. And then the ones that are for the face say F and then they've got a number. I was a bit slow on that one, but I got there in the end. Okay, so this is a fan brush. As you can see, it's like that really large, thick, fluffy one. This is good for highlight or even contour. Then we have another fan brush, but this one, as you can see, is extremely much smaller than the other one and not as thick. This is the F17. This is perfect for highlight. I love to use a fan brush for a highlight. The next brush I have here is the F15, which is the foundation brush. I used this to apply my primer and my foundation. And then I did go and blend it with my beauty blender. If you are going to splurge on anything, it would definitely have to be a beauty blender. I highly recommend those because they're good for everything. Okay, the next brush I have is the F13, and I used this one for blush. So this is a good size for the cheeks, the apples of the cheeks or the cheekbones. I also used it for my highlight as well, for a more concentrated, harsh highlight because I like that harsh glow. Then the next one I have is the F14, which is a angled sort of fluffy brush. Like, it's not dense, but it's not too fluffy. This is good for contouring or just bronzing. Yeah, another good brush. The next one I have is the F12, and I used this one for powder all over the face to set my foundation with a powder foundation. And this one is quite large and fluffy and soft, and it's great. It works really great. Then the last one I have here is the F20, and this one is also a large fluffy brush, but not as large as the last one that I just showed you. This one I used for my bronzer, and not so much for contouring, just bronzing like the whole outer perimeter of my face. I feel like it dispersed the product evenly and like really blown out and blended because it is quite fluffy. So yeah, overall, like I said, I think they are great brushes for their price. Obviously, they're like extremely affordable, $1.30 Australian and $1 US. The only thing I would have to say that's negative is there's not that much of a variety of eye brushes. They're mostly just flat pack-on brushes instead of blending brushes. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a huge thumbs up. It helps me so much, and I really appreciate you guys watching my videos. Sorry I'm so slack with them. I will see you guys next time.